Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Yomi Megilla Lamed Bet Amid Aleph, the final daf of the Masechet. Gemarah talks about the halachot of Gelila, someone who wraps the Torah, goes through the halachot how it is done. There's a fascinating Mishnah in Masechet Sofrim that talks about the observer. When one is watching Hagbah Gelila, what one must do. It says that a person should see the Torah and actually bow down, which is fascinating because we just don't see people do that. So the question, of course, is why not? So one may say, well, it's Masechet Sofrim, did it make its way into halacha? And the answer is it did. The Shulchan Aruch writes word for word, exactly as Masechet Sofrim says. There's a mitzvah on the people, on the Am, to see the Torah during Hagbah and to bow down to it. The Mishnah does not comment on that point. He just adds in that it's such a serious mitzvah that even if you are not in the room and you're outside the room and it's the time of Hagbah, you should walk into the room so you could see the Hagbah as well. So the question is, why is this not done? Some try to justify with the Shiltai Giborim Kidushin, which writes that we bow down only to Hashem, not to any other object, not to a Torah, and even in our own Kodesh, which is fascinating. But the fact is, Masechet Sofrim does hold differently. The Divrai Yatziv, the Kloserberger Rabbi, maintains that maybe this was only set up when the Torah is lifted as it is on Simchas Torah, when the Ktav is totally exposed to the people. Not the simple Pshat Masechet Sofrim, though. Another possibility is that since we're not 100% sure of all the details of the Sefer Torah, so maybe only when we're 100% sure that the Torah is kosher, then you bow down to it, but otherwise not. Not simple answers when you have a Masechet Sofrim and the Shulchan Aruch, and the Mishnah seems to accept it as well. What's fascinating is the Har Zvi Orach Chaim. He writes that there are those who are maker like the Shiltai Giborim, that we only bow down to God and not to anyone else. He says, but the fact is, if you look at the simple pshat in the poskim, it's just not that way. And it seems like we should bow down during the time of Hagbah. And he brings a fascinating proof. In Baruch Shmai, the Gemarah, it says openly that we bow down to Hashem and we bow down to the Torah. The holy done, the holy done to Hashem and to the Torah. So it's a simple pshat in Baruch Shmai. It's the simple pshat in Sofrim, Masechet Sofrim, in the Shulchan Aruch. And he says really one should do that. Chaim Kanievsky also maintains that as well. Regarding halacha l'maseh, each person, of course, should speak to his posek about what to do. Shalom.